Social media in of itself is becoming an absolute disease. And what I'm going to demonstrate in this video, just from this conversation and the tweets that I'm about to show you, is a fundamental problem with not just creators in social media who blow up too fast and get famous overnight, but also the fact that when you get too big, there are just going to be people who will say things to get a rise out of you, regardless of whether it is true or not. And if you are a very, very large creator and you see an overwhelming trend of people keep doing the same sort of behavior towards you to get a rise out of you, you, as a creator, do have the responsibility to say, sit back and think. Should I reply to this? Should I give this attention? Serious. Like if it's a serious, thing that somebody's claiming about you with no evidence, then sure. But to respond to the majority of things that are said, regardless of whether it's true or not, nobody's on the internet, small accounts on the internet, and you constantly reply to those things, you are essentially fueling a fire with gasoline. Because if you keep responding to things, it only gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The smaller people will see, wow, he gets angry, he's getting a rise, he's constantly responding to us, and it gives that little serotonin boost to whoever is making a claim, false or not, and they get a lot of attention from it. And what I'm about to highlight is one of many different examples. For those of you who don't know, Dream is a massive YouTuber. He was faceless for a very long time until he did a face reveal a little while back last year, 2 years ago. And this creator, who I personally do not like, has had an absolute insane amount of allegations thrown about him. And I've looked into a lot of it, and the majority of it is not credible. There's just no evidence. There's no proof. It's just people making things up. There are a couple other things that I'm like, okay, that could be true, but whatever. I'm not here to discuss his allegations. I'm just saying there's a lot of controversy around this guy, Dream. Now, what you're looking at here is Dream, as of yesterday, 15th, replying to this. You're replying to a fake account. I'm not a no matter how much you joke, but you are a terrible human. You physically me, and you said the N-word and other slurs, verbally berated an Uber driver, saying, that's why I'm a famous movie star and you're an Uber driver, and they're just trying to help you not get arrested, calling them the R slurs, saying that your IQ is among geniuses, and making racist remarks towards them. Then you apologized to me in Twitter DMs because you were, quote, drunk and high. You should never treat like any of that regardless of your circumstances. Crazy how the voice actor from Dora the Explorer, Gumball, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is being racist and replying to fake Dream accounts in his free time. Bro, when you're an actual pled, you can't joke about being a pled. Now, Twitter, for those of you who don't know, has an added context button. So people were saying he is quote tweeting a parody account. Dream's real account is blah, blah, blah. So a few days ago, this tweet right here, the allegations are true. I'm sorry. This will be my last tweet before deactivating. This tweet got 1.1 million views, dude, and over 13,000 likes, 2.2 thousand retweets. That is a massive engagement for a parody account. Now, obviously, the account is actually in violation technically of Twitter's terms of service, because you're supposed to have parody in your actual username, because that's why people are falling for this. And again, he's had a lot of allegations in regards to grooming and underage stuff. And again, there really wasn't any evidence. So naturally, if you're on Twitter, people are retweeting this thinking that it's real. Now, there are people in the replies that are like, I thought this was real. But in this generation, right, we have reached this point on TikTok, social media, YouTube, everything really, is that people don't vet things before they post it, before they repost it to their stuff, saying, hey, look, he admitted to allegations of such and such, despite the fact that it's from a parody account. So obviously, when a account, whether a parody or not, makes something that goes viral, creators, depending on the content of that post, they should respond. But also, there's a point where you need to have a little bit of subjectivity, and is it worth responding to if it's not going viral? And this is where Dream, in my opinion, really screws up in a lot on his social media, is because he gives things that don't necessarily explode way more attention than he should. And by doing that, it fuels the fire, and it basically says that anybody can just make up anything, and there's a potential that he's going to reply to it to his millions of followers. And so it's that adrenaline boost that this younger generation get off of getting the attention from a larger creator who's famous. And they'll say anything. That's the crazy thing. It doesn't matter how vitriolic, it doesn't matter how much of a lie it is said. People will make stuff up in order to gain virality, to get something to go viral, to get that dosage of attention off of that. And then potentially you now have this new rumor or this new false claim that's been circulating on the internet, and people will see and read things and just believe it rather than actually looking into it. This is becoming a bigger and bigger issue on social media, so much to the point where there's a part of me that actually feels really bad for Dream, the fact that he's even giving this type of stuff attention. But at the same time, Dream has also created his fan base specifically by pandering. And what I mean by this is that Dream has been in a lot of controversies for things not even related to, minors at all. From him sharing lyrics of songs, from him quoting songs. I remember there was this one instance where he posted lyrics, and I think I can't remember if I believe he posted it on his Twitter, but he basically posted a song with lyrics, and the song was explicit, and it had reference to guns and substances, like those types of substances. And Dream himself responded to, I can't remember if it was a kid or I think it was a parent. It was a fan. It was somebody who watches Dream, and they were like, you shouldn't be sharing music like this or lyrics like this or singing along to a song like this because it glorifies guns and gang activity and substances. And Dream replied to that and responded and apologized and basically gave in to the demand that it's not appropriate for him to listen or share the type of music that he listens to. And when that happened, I was in shock. I was in awe. Because once you give your audience that much power over the things that you say, you've lost. You've just lost. You're not going to come back from that. And now anything that you do is going to be hyper criticized, hyper examined, right? That if you even blink or look the wrong way, people are going to say that this is a problem. They're going to try to cancel him for whatever reason, regardless of whether it's cancelable offense or not. It doesn't matter, because you've already shown that you're willing to pander to sharing lyrics, and you don't want to be a bad influence. But at what point? You kind of lose your humanity. You lose your ability to make choices if you can't even be yourself on social media because you're so afraid of offending somebody or being canceled based upon sharing song lyrics. Like, are you really going to give internet people that much power to you when you're a ginormous YouTuber? And people see that and they make more controversy from it. Part of the reason that Dream is always in controversy is because he made himself that way by his choices to constantly respond, give attention to things that originally shouldn't even have had attention to begin with. But I want to make it really clear. If something goes viral that's fake or a lie, or somebody makes a fake account and just says something that's completely unfounded, obviously he has a right to respond to that, especially if it goes viral, and I think people should. If something doesn't go viral, why are you responding to it? Why are you giving it the attention? Because at the end of the day, you have all these eyes watching you, and when people see how you respond to certain things, it's called the Streisand effect, okay? It's like when you try to stop something from spreading, it spreads more. In the same way, if you talk about something too much, too frequently, more people are going to talk about it, if that makes sense, right? And you're really, at the end of the day, just hurting yourself. So my advice, and I know I'm a nobody here on YouTube, but Dream, if there's a chance that you're watching this, just stop giving people credibility, stop responding to things, stop giving your audience so much power to influence how you think and how you operate on social media. Because once you do that, you'll be much happier. That's all I got to say on that issue. Yeah, I don't know. This is a really random video. I know there's really no format here. I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because it's becoming a huge thing, man. Social media is like, the bigger social media gets, the more I'm taking a step back. I don't want involvement with social media anymore. It's scary. It can ruin people's lives over a night, over something that isn't true. This generation of younger folks, man, they're brutal. They don't care about what they post, what they do to people. The lack of empathy that this younger generation has towards hurting people or damaging people's livelihoods by making something up that's not true just for clicks, just for attention, just to get that, adrenaline boost. That's what truly scares me more than anything. I don't even want to know what it's going to be like in another, 2023? I don't want to know what it's going to be like in 20 years. I'm going to definitely be off social media by then. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think.